Good morning. All right, so we're going to start on our mats, on our backs. And I have, for those of you who are already on, continue to relax. For the rest of you, taking a mat, I folded it sort of long and narrow. I'm going to place my hips on the floor in front of the mat so that my hips are on the mat. And I'm going to lean back so that my spine is supported by the blanket and situated so that my head is supported as well. Just a little extra padding for the floor. You don't have to use it, but it just feels sort of comfy, so I like it. And then let's walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. Let your knees lean in together. Feel free to make any adjustments so that you're able to be comfortable and relaxed. And let the hands just fall lazily to the side. Close your eyes. And scan the body for any tension. Check your jaw. Check your shoulders. The belly. And let's just focus on the breath coming in through the nose. And exhaling through the nose as well. If you'd like to set an intention for your class today, please do so now. And gently starting to slow down the breath. Feeling the belly rise as we begin the inhalation deep in the abdomen. And then expand the sides of the rib cage. Tops of the lungs. And then exhaling in reverse, pressing the stale air out in the tops of the lungs, the side of the rib cage and the belly. Inhaling again. And exhaling. Finding a rhythm that works for you, but as slow as you can. We're coming into the nose. And then the warm air. Let's exhale again through the nose. Let go of any thoughts, worries, or concerns. Stilling the mind. Allowing thoughts to just pass through as they come into the brain, just like clouds floating by in the sky. Observe them, but let them go. One more breath. On your next exhalation, you can return to normal breathing. Let's bring our knees up to being parallel, a little space between them. And gently just start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. Just gently waking up the lower back and the hips. Nothing crazy here, just gentle movements. Relaxed. And then let's bring them to center. Pitch and toe your feet just a little bit, still keeping them about hip width apart. And let's press through the big toes, lift the hips, give them a shimmy. You can keep your palms down here for support. And down. Lift. Shimmy the hips, waking up the digestive system, the lower back and down. Inhale, lift, another shimmy. And down. Now gently rolling over to your side. Let's move the blanket out of the way if you have one under your spine. And bringing the knees now in towards your chest and interlocking your fingers, if possible, around your knees. Getting visited by Hopi, our little cat. And rolling, doing some gentle rolls. Now I'm on the small of my back. So if you're not able to, you want to pull the knees up far enough so that you're on the small back. Just getting a little massage here. Going one way, then the other. Then separating the knees and maybe doing some rolls with the knees one way or the other. Just play with it, whatever feels good. Just pulling around into the joints of the hips. Letting the knees fall open now. Hands are on the inside of the knees. I'm sort of holding my shins here. Just applying a gentle pressure to get a little stretch in the groin. I did a little hiking this week and this feels very good, I must say. And stretch and breathe. Bringing the knees back together. Now bring the feet up above you. You can give a little shimmy out there. You're going to cross one leg. I'm crossing my right leg over my left leg so that my knees are up as high on the thigh as I can. And then dropping both feet so my knees are crossed. I'm still on the small of my back. I'm going to grab my shins with my hands, the closest one each one, pulling the shins out and then up into the body. Relax the jaw, relax your shoulders. It's getting a little stretch here. And breathe. And as you're holding this and applying gentle pressure, breathe into the whatever area that might be tight. For me, I'm feeling it in the front of my thighs, but you might feel it in the back. That sciatica region, just breathe into it. See if you can relax just a little more. And let's release. Grab, let your feet shake them out a little bit. And let's do the other side now, crossing my left leg over my right above the knee. Grabbing the shins, pulling out to the sides of the room and then up. Finding your stretch wherever it may be in the legs here. Relax the neck and the chin, relax the shoulders. Breathe. And release. Shake the legs out a little bit. Bring them back down to the floor. Now letting your feet still be, your knees still be wide, we're going to roll over to the right side, come up onto our right forearm, engaging our core, and reach as though you're reaching for your glasses or a glass of water in bed, and then come back. A little core work here, engaging the core, roll over now to the other side, lift the shoulder, come up, and a little close to the water, come up and reach, so shoulders off the floor, and then back down. And just play with this a little bit, a little functional movement. Rolling to one side, engaging the core, using the core as much as you can, and not the neck. We're not pulling with the neck. The neck comes off the floor, but we're pressing. You can use the forearm, but also really concentrate on using the core here. We'll get out of bed reaches. Check your neck, make sure it's not involved. And coming up. Roll to the other side. One more set. And to the other side. And then down. If you can grab your belt, if you have it near you. Bring your feet off the, and just have it near you. Bring the feet off the floor, hands at the side for now. And bring your feet into sort of a chair position so that your legs are at about a 90-degree angle. Feet are apart. And let's just hold this position. Now my small of my back is against the floor, and I'm moving my hips around a little bit so that I feel like I have a good connection to the back with the floor. I'm not arching the front of my body forward, letting it settle in, and engaging the core here. This is a little bit of core work, just holding it and breathing. Check your jaw. We can also march the feet a little bit. One leg and then the other, again, from the core. You want to put your hands on your belly there just to feel the engagement. You can lower the feet a little bit, but only as low as you can go without the back lifting off the floor. So I'm not going very far down. I'm just doing a little marching there. And when you've had enough of that, you can bring the feet down, or excuse me, the hands down, palms down onto the floor. And we're just going to do some gentle hip lifts, pressing through the hands and gently lifting the hips off the floor. Again, core, squeezing the core. It's a small lift that I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be any big deal, but as long as you're feeling the engagement of the core. Try to relax your face. Maybe do 5 or 10 of these, whatever feels comfortable. If you can only do a couple, start there. And then when you're ready, let's take our belt. We're going to hold the belt. We did this last week, so we're going to go a little deeper with it. In class 2, holding the belt about a little more than shoulder width apart. We're going to continue to do that lifting, maybe putting the foot over the belt, maybe touching the belt. My knees are bent. Keep the knees as bent as you need to be able to get the feet up to the belt. And we want this lift to be controlled. So the slower you do it, the more work it is on your abs and core. Or Uddiyana Bandha, which is the Sanskrit. Having a little trouble here with my headset. Larry, would you go grab my other headset? I think this one's dying. And when you're ready, you can place that at the side. Bring your feet down. Do a little hip shimmy. Bring your knees up again over your chest. Bring your hands behind your thighs. And we're just going to start to rock the lower spine. Just some gentle rolls on the lower spine. If it's available to you and it feels comfortable, you can play with this a little bit. Get the feet farther up. Tuck the chin to keep the spine rolled. Do some rolls. Try and tuck the chin tucked the whole time. And when you're ready, you can come up to a seated position. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just having a little technical difficulties here. Let's drop the head. And keeping the eyes closed, let's just do some gentle neck rolls to the right. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, other side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, inhale, following a circle, maybe that you draw with your chin, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time this way. Keep the shoulders down. Relax your jaw. Make sure there's space between your teeth. And exhale. Let's go the other way. Inhale. Really focusing on the circumference of the neck. And exhale. Inhale again, spending any extra time if you'd like on anything that might be feeling a little ouchy to you today. And exhale, other side. Trying to make as wide of a circle as feels comfortable. One more time this way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And coming to center. Let's put our hands on our shoulders. Just do some gentle shoulder rolls. Again, with the elbows this time, painting those imaginary circles on the wall or wherever. I'm just trying to make as big a circle as you can, especially on the back part there. Keep your neck relaxed and parallel to the floor. Go the other way. Breathe. Shrug it out a little bit. Now let's just do some just do whatever you'd like here, have them going independently, really getting the shoulder and the upper torso moving around a little bit here. Just whatever feels good. Lubricating those joints one way, the other way. Shake it out. Hands back on our shoulders, the elbows parallel with our shoulders, and let's just do some twists. Inhale to the left, exhale to the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, jaw soft. Inhale, exhale. Come to center. Good. Now inhaling to the right. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And shake it out. Shrug your shoulders. Rooting down into the ground with your hip bones, moving the skin away if you need to. Inhale, let's bring the arms up into a Y shape. And let's just pulse the arms back. This series helps with that, what they call it, the dowager's hump, which is what some people get as they age at the top of their spine, base of their neck. This helps to bring the neck back into alignment and the shoulders. And then let's bring the arms into our W shape. The first one was a Y. This is W. Again, pulling those shoulders back. Chin remains parallel with the floor, and breathe. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. And now into our T's, extend the hands, palms forward, pulsing back, opening up the chest and the heart space. And then bringing the elbows into the rib cage for our L's, and pulling the hands back, keep getting shoulders back, opening up the front of the body. And you can relax, shake it out.
Bring the arms up again. Now this time palms facing down. Inhale, we're going to bring the pinky up as far as we can with palms up. And then exhale, palms down, but with the pinky up as far as you can. Actually, they're sort of, my palms are facing back. And then other way. And then back. Just hand flips here. Keep the jaw relaxed. A little shoulder work as well as upper arm strength. It doesn't feel like much when you do 5 or 10. Try doing 50 or 100. You'll start feeling where it's working. Just going to do a few of these. Couple more. And shrug out your shoulders. Let's bring the hands up and make a fist. We're just going to do some wrist circles with our hands in a fist. Go one way and then go the other way. Extend the fingers. Make a fist and squeeze, extend, squeeze, extend, squeeze. Shake it out. Let's bring the fingers in front of you with them facing back towards your body. Now, some of you you just may have to fiddle with this a little bit to see where it works for you. And the palms of my hands are not touching the floor. I'm just trying to get a little stretch in the front of the forearm here. We're going to gently lean into it, very gentle here. The wrists are tiny little joints. Just gonna want to give them a little stretch, leaning. Again, my fingers are facing back towards my body. And breathe and relax. Kind of pulsing into it, just feeling a little opening there. Feeling one arm being definitely tighter than the other. And then let's shrug it out. Now let's press the hands. Fingers are still facing back, but now we're doing the back of the hand. And again, just finding a place where it feels like a comfortable stretch into the wrist as well as onto the back of the forearm, the top of the forearm now. Don't give the wrists a lot of love, so we have to remember them as well. Shake it out. Grabbing a brick so you have it close to you. We're going to extend one foot. I'll mirror you. Extend your left foot. Bend your right. Put the foot over your leg, and you can put a brick under that bent knee for support if you'd like. And we're just going to work a little bit on the feet here. So if you can, work your fingers in between your toes. Some people that just does not work for them. So if not, you can just grab the toes. If you can put them in there, we're just going to spread them out a little bit. If you can't put your fingers in, you can just sort of spread the toes out. Give them a little space. And I'm just sort of doing some circles with my fingers in between there. And then let's press all the toes. Make sure you get the pinky from the underside, giving a little stretch up. And then stretch the other way. Good. And then if you'd like, you can make a little fist and use your knuckles. Give yourself a little massage on the bottom of the feet, especially in that arch area. It always feels very good. And then let's hold the knee, lift it off the brick, and hold the foot. And let's just rock the baby, rocking back and forth, supporting the knee and the foot. Again, a little opening of the hip. You can extend it. Let's do the other side now. I'm going to extend now my right foot, bring the left foot up and cross over the other leg, support the bent knee with the brick. And then again, if you can, put the fingers between the toes, give them a little spreading out. See what feels good there. Press on the underside to stretch the toes and make sure you get that pinky toe too. And then pressing the other way, doing the stretch on the top of the foot. Good. And then if you'd like, giving yourself a little foot massage here. You can use both hands if you'd like. And then let's rock the baby, holding the knee and the foot in your hands and just rocking back and forth into the hip joint. All right. You can extend your legs now. Now bring the legs crossed in front of you so that the feet are flexed and are more under my knees-ish, as close to that as you can get. So I have a little triangular opening between my legs here. I'm moving the skin away from my sits bone, so I have a nice, good, firm connection. I'm rooting down into the mat. Inhale, raising up with the arms. At the same time, reaching up as I'm pressing down with the hips, finding space in the spine, the back of the body. Exhale, I'm hinging from the hips, coming forward. No hunching. We're hinging, finding that space, and just go as far forward as you can, keeping the spine from hunching, and bring the hands to the floor. If you have to be on your fingertips, that's fine. And then we're just going to find this stretch. Maybe as you sit in this position, you're reaching forward a little bit more. Again, pressing down with those hips, reaching forward with the hands, feeling as though someone had a cable or something coming out of the top of your head. Let's say a golden thread. That's a more pleasant image. And they're like pulling your head forward, really stretching out that spine. Find space and breathe. Relax your jaw. One more breath here. And on the exhale, let's walk the hands back forward. Now, noticing which foot is in front. Now we're going to switch. And you can give them a little shake. And now we're going to switch, put the other foot in front. Again, flex your feet. They're under your knees or as close as you can get them to. Move the skin away from your sits bones, root down into the mat, pressing down as you reach up, finding that space in the back of the body and hinging from the hip forward. Coming as far as you can, keeping the hinge, and then bringing the hands to the floor. Find your stretch. Again, this is not about touching the head to the floor. We're finding space in the back of the body. And breathe. Again, inching if you feel a little release, maybe inching a half inch forward with your fingertips, finding that space, really pressing down through the hips as you reach forward with the hands. Feeling the opening among your rib cage, along the spinal column. And then on your next exhale, let's walk the hands back. Now, grabbing a brick and having your belt nearby, let's come onto our sides. I'm going to put my brick under my head. I'm going to lay on my side and extend my lower arm for support. Although, actually, before I do that, I'm going to grab my belt I'm going to put it around the arch of my upper foot and hold that and bring the knees back together. So the knees are together. I'm holding this belt sort of behind me. I'm using my lower arm for support. Inhale, keeping the knees close together. I'm just going to give a gentle tug on that foot and trying to pull it closer to the hip. I find if I straighten the lower leg, gives me a little bit more of a stretch. So we're stretching the front of that thigh. You can do this standing up. You can even do it without the belt if you don't need it. But the belt is sort of helpful if you find that the front of your thighs are very tight. And for many of us who spend a lot of time sitting, that is the case. You can flex the foot or have the foot pointed, whatever works for you, and breathe. Relax the chin. And release. Now we're going to do the other side. Take the belt off that foot. Just roll over. I'm going to switch around here so you can see me from this side. Again, brick under your head for support. Extend the lower leg, extend the lower arm. Actually, after you put the belt around your foot. And then now I'm using, mirroring you, my right knee is coming to line with the bottom knee, and using my upper arm for support, I'm just going to give myself a little tug on that, coaxing the foot up towards the hip, finding a stretch in the front of the leg, front of the bent leg, and breathe. Again, if you don't need the belt, if you can grab the foot, that's fine as well. It's just wherever your body is. And release. You can push the belt out of the way. Lift your head up off the brick and push that out of the way. And let's come back to a seated position with our feet in front of us. We're going to lean back onto our arms with our feet about a little more than hip width apart. And we're just going to do some side to side windshield wipers, but engaging the hips this time a little more. We did this series last week. We're going to go a little farther with them this time, side to side. And then we're going to start reaching over with the opposite hand. So come to the side, touch the back. Come to the side, touch, keep sliding. And it's about getting this motion in the torso, the hips. When you're ready, you can start doing a lasso with the upper arm. Other side, lasso, nice big circle. Lasso, getting the shoulder involved in it here. And if this is challenging enough for you, you can stay there and continue doing that. If you'd like to push it a little more. This time when we do the lasso, we're going to lift the hip. Come back to center. Other side, lasso, lift the hip. So I'm coming up on both knees using my lower arm for support, and then bring the hips down, roll to the other side, come up on the knees, lasso with the arm, and down. A little hip strength there. Other side. And then finally, if that's comfortable with you and you'd like to challenge yourself further, bring the hands together in Namaste prayer and to the side, up on the knees without using the hands. Again, if it's available to you. If not, this is just a goal to work towards. Come up to the other side. The hands are not part of it. The hands at the heart, up to the side, and down. It's all about working where your body is and finding that strength. This is a hip strengthening move. Obviously, we'll do one more set. And come down one more time. Inhaling up, engaging that Uddiyana Bandha, the core, and come back to center and shake it out. Coming to the wall, I'm going to move my, or whatever, if you are close to the wall and have access to it. I'm bringing a brick in your belt. And I'm going to use the wall. We did Dandasana, our seated rod pose, in class 2. We're going to work with it again this week as well in this week's class. Bringing a brick with it in the shoebox position, bringing it between your calves. My hips are up against the wall. My skin is moved away so that my hip bones have a nice foundation. And now I'm going to flex my feet and squeeze that brick. And then beginning to work the shoulders and the head back into the wall, so as close as you can. And the wall gives us some nice feedback as to how our posture is doing. Now, we don't want to jut the chest and the rib cage forward, so just gently keep them. We're not pressing the small of the back against the wall. That it's coming into the normal curvature of the spine. Hips are touching. Shoulders are touching if they can, and the head. And if they don't worry, that's just a goal. continuing to squeeze that brick, pressing down with the heels. Let's bring the arms out forward in front of us and then pulling the arms into the shoulder socket. Continue to squeeze the brick, pressing down with the hips and pulling in with the shoulders. On your next inhale, let's bring the arms up as far as you can to the wall if it's possible. If you can't, you can't. Just go as far as you can. And breathe, relax the chin here and the neck. Press down on the hips and the legs. And exhale, release. Pulling the arms back into the shoulders. Another breath. And exhale down. Shrug out your shoulders and grab your belt. Now, this is the hardest part of the class. And taking your belt, having it straight, we're going to make a loop. So you're going to go through two of the loops, making sure it's not twisted. And then come back through one. So come back in the middle of the loops. And there you go. And then we want to pull the belt so that we have a loop that's about shoulder width, something like that. And holding the belt so that the loop is not hitting your arms, we're going to put the arms through it. And still engaging our core, our mula bandha, pulling up at the root lock, pressing down the backs of the legs, flexing the feet and squeezing that block. Now we're going to bring the arms up, pressing out onto the belt and in so that the shoulders are in towards the wall. This is a bit of an isometric exercise, but it's a little harder than it looks if you're really engaging everything here. My body is totally engaged except for the chin. And breathe. And when you're ready, keeping that tension pressing out on the loop of the belt, raise the arms, inhale, as high as you can, as far back as you can, chin parallel with the floor, rooting down as you reach up with the arms. Strong postural work here, Dandasana. And when you're ready, you can bring them back down so that they're in front of you. One more breath here. And exhale, release. You can take the hands out of the belt. Throw that to the side for now. And then spreading the legs as far as we can. As far as you can comfortably. And you can use the wall for support here. I'm moving my skin away from my hip bones. I'm flexing my feet. Inhale, rooting down, pressing down with the legs, strong leg work here that my legs are engaged. Inhale, bring the arms up and exhale, hinging, again, hinging from the hips. We're going to come forward and come forward as far as you can, and then bring the hands to the floor. I'm on my fingertips here, so I'm feeling a nice stretch here in the inside of the legs, which is what we're looking for, as well as lengthening the spine. It's not about touching the head to the floor. About finding length and just observing where you feel your stretches. And breathe. Keep those feet flexed. And as you breathe, maybe noticing a little release that you can maybe go a little deeper in your hinge. And when you're ready, walk the hands back. You can bring the legs forward and give them a little jiggle. And let's come onto all fours. Now, if you have trouble with your knees, you can use a blanket underneath your knees just to provide a little extra support. And coming onto all fours so that my knees are under my shoulder, or my knees are under my hips, hands are under my shoulders, fingers are spread. And we're just going to do some nice hip rolls here, just some swirls, just sort of figure eights with the shoulders and the hips, just loosening everything up, the whole back of the body. Maybe do some big circles one way and then the other way. Working into anything that's talking to you today. And then coming to all fours so that we have our knees stacked under the hips, hands stacked under the hands stacked under the shoulders. Inhale, we're going to look up to the sky and drop the spine, the hips up, coming into our cow position. Exhale, press through the hands, engage your core, and do a rounded back. Inhale, looking up to our cow, drop the spine. Exhale, pressing up to the back of the spine into our cat position, cats and cows. Do a few of these at your own pace. Inhale with the breath. And exhale. Really feeling all the vertebrae, all the discs of the spine as you flex the spine here. And then when you're ready, come back to center, spread the knees even wider, and we're going to come into Balasana, our child position, lowering the hips to the feet. The hands can remain forward or alongside of the body. Now, there are many modifications I can give you for this if you're having trouble. One is if you're having trouble getting your head to the floor like this, just bring a brick here. This is a relaxation pose. So this should feel like something that you're supported, body supported, and you're able to relax into it. If you're having trouble getting those hips to the back of the knees, you can do a couple of things. You can use a brick at whatever level you might need. You can bring, this is a handy little thing that I've picked up at my local grocery store. It's one of those pool noodles. I cut it off with a bread knife, and you can put that behind the legs. So therefore lessening the angle on the knees if this is hard for you. For some people that works great. You can also use a blanket or a pillow behind the knees. If your feet are bothering you here, like this angle is too strong, you can put a little washcloth or something underneath that. Regardless, find a way for this to work for you. Now, if none of these, I'll give you a final option. If none of these are where your body is at, you can do this on your back, basically like this. So just, it's the same general idea, having the legs splayed and holding the knees up above your body. Taking your breaths in your chow. Maybe shaking out the hips a little, the shoulders a little, breathing through the back of the body, feeling the spine rise and fall. Not the spine, but the ribs in the back of your body, rather. Relax the chin. And child is one of those positions that if you're ever just having a bad day, you just need a sort of safe, relaxed pose to just to get your bearings, or maybe even just to calm down before bed. Or maybe you're just not feeling very well. This is a wonderful relaxation pose to use, Balasana. And when you're ready, come up, back up onto all fours again, bringing your knees back underneath your, under your hips. Bringing the hands out a little farther. So I'm now sort of leaning forward on my hands. We're going to do some gentle push-ups here. So bringing the, bending the elbows so that they come, they're staying close to the body. We're just going to come down and press up. I'm on my knees, down, keeping the elbows close to the body, and up down. Gentle strength work here. And let's do 5, 6, whatever. If you're watching on video, do as many as you'd like. Breathing, exhale. Inhale, push up. And one more. And then let's bring the knees back under the hips again. Bird dogs, these are very often prescribed for back strengthening and a number of back issues. Let's reach forward with your right arm, kick out the flexed back leg or left leg, and then back. Inhale the other arm, opposite leg. Now the goal here is to do them very slowly because, of course, as we know, the slower the movement, the harder it is. But to keep the hips level, as though you had something on your back, like a glass of, let's say water. And you don't want to spill it. You don't want the hips tipping over like that. You want to keep the back straight. And do a few of these. And I always have one side. I think it's my left hip always wants to roll a little bit. So I always have to really focus on that to keep it from rolling. And come back to center. Let's lift your right leg up with your foot flexed. And we're going to just do some big rolls with maybe, again, painting rolls with the knee in the sky, rolling into that hip. Go the other way. Nice big circles. Whew. Okay, other side. Good for opening the hips. And the other side. And let's bring your toes down to the floor again. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Press yourself onto your feet. Now keeping your knees bent, and I have my fingertips on the floor. I'm going to press up, keeping my knees bent, but bringing the feet to the floor, heels to the floor. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Bring your hands to your waist. Engage that core, that Uddiyana Bandha. Press through your heels and hinge up to standing. Coming to something you can hold on to and bringing a brick close for right now. We're going to have our feet about hip width apart, finding a focal point in front of you, low on the ground, that your drishti to focus on. Inhale, come up on the toes. And we're just going to hold for a few breaths. Trying maybe to let go a little bit, see how your balance is. And then down. Now lifting the toes and come up on the heels. This one's harder. Finding that focal point, engaging your core for balance. Maybe trying to let go here. This one, again, is harder. And then down. Now grab that brick, put it between the feet so that it's in the shoebox position. Squeeze the brick. Now we're going to come up on the toes and squeeze that brick. This works on strengthening the outer calf muscles, the ones on the side of your calves, and are integral in maintaining our balance. So squeeze that brick. Maybe try to let go. Just test your balance a little bit here and breathe. And then let's come down. Now let's lift the toes. Same thing, squeeze the brick. Feel those muscles on the outside of the thigh, or excuse me, outside of the shin. And release. You can move the brick away. And again, with something to hold on to here, let's lift and stretch the toes out and place them on the floor. Transferring the weight of your body onto your left leg. Let's lift the right leg, and we're just simply going to bend it. Find your drishti, your point of focus, engage your core, and then see how your balance is. Maybe let go here. Breathe. and release. Now do the other side. Just testing your balance, just doing a little work. Again, lift and spread the toes, transfer the balance now to the right foot, bend your left foot, bring it up. Find your point of focus on the floor. Breathe, maybe let go, but still make sure you have something to hold on to. We don't want anyone falling. Engage that core. The more you squeeze, the more, and bring the skin against your skeleton, the easier it is for focus. And release. You can shake it out. With the feet about hip width apart, again, inhale, bring the arms up. We're going to come down into our Utkatasana, our chair pose. I'm reaching out. I'm bringing the hips down behind my feet. I can still see my toes. And then engage the glutes and come to standing. Exhale down. Again, make sure your hips are behind. We're really working these muscles here. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Squeeze them up. Exhale down. Engage your glutes and come to standing. Bring your arms down. Now, this is a fun one. I'm going to face away from you. And it's a wonderful, it's arms, shoulders, torso. Imagine, if you can, that there's a huge clock standing in front of me. 12, 3, 6, 9. I'm going to rotate my feet a little bit and keep your knees soft, because we're going to be rotating from side to side with the toes and the knees. Taking my right arm first, I'm going to go as though it's a second hand of the clock, and I'm going clockwise to 9 o'clock. When I get to 12, I start to rotate, come to the other side, and then I'm going to swing the arm behind my body in as big a circle as I can. Then as I come back up, I'm going to swoop the arm in front of me. Now I'm going to the left again. This is a mental thing too, but I think it's really fun once you learn it. Swooping behind again, the arms always move the way the second hand goes, always clockwise to one side. And then you rotate to the other, finding that sort of rotating on your ball of your feet. And then bring it to the front. Do one more this way. And then swooping in front. Now we're going to do the other arm, but I'm going to start from the same side. And again, here's my clock, 12, 3, 6, 9. I'm going to go with the second hand, starting with my hand behind me, coming up to 9, and then to 12. And then as I come over to 3 o'clock, I'm pointing to this side, and I'm going to keep the arm in front of me as I come to 6, rotate over to the left, come to 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to go behind me, because I always keep it with the same clockwise motion. And then when I come to the front, or to the right, it's in front of me, behind me. And this takes a little while, so if you have to watch this a couple of times to get it, it has taken me a while. I had to watch the video a couple of times to get it. All right, one more time with the left hand. Now, what the fun part is, we're going to do them together. So I'm going to point to my left. I'm going to start with my left hand behind me at about, it's about 4 o'clock. My right hand is pointing at 9 o'clock. They're both moving in the same direction, right? But then I'm going to start the right, when I'm coming to this side, the right hand is behind me, left hand's in front. And then they switch. Both arms going in the same direction, but about 30 minutes apart, ideally. Mine aren't quite right. And notice how the hips have to move. The shoulders have to move. And the faster you get it, it's more fun. If you feel like it, you can do it very slow. Breathing. Or slow, either way. Just, it's a wonderful shoulder and hip opener first thing in the morning. All right, come to center and let's shake it out. How much time do we have? Okay, let's lay down on our mats. Let's see, lay down on your mat and let's bring the brick between your knees at whatever level feels right to you, or position of the brick, and hands at your side. Small of my back is against the floor, so if you need to, if you're small, your back isn't, bring your knees up a little higher so that you can really roll the pelvis forward and get onto the small of the back. We're just going to do some gentle squeezing the brick. Again, Uddiyana Bandha here, core Bandha. We're going to roll side to side, controlled rolls. Squeeze that brick. When you squeeze the brick, you're engaging the core, as well as a bunch of little muscles around the knees, which are wonderful to exercise as well. And using the hands out at the side, palms down for support. You can go as low as you can and bring the knees up. Just work with this, some gentle core work. Maybe at some point, you can bring them down, get a little lower as you work the core. Again, it's where you are. All right, and let's bring the knees with the feet down to the floor. Lift the hips up for a little shimmy. And while you have your hips up, let's take the brick, put it under the flat part of it's where your sacrum is, which is the flat part between your hip bones. Should feel very stable there. Hands at your side, palms down. Bend the knees and bring them up above your head. And let's just bring the feet up. Feel free to adjust that. This should feel very good. If it doesn't, then feel free to opt out of this. Viparita Karani. You can relax here, close the eyes, or if you'd like, you can play with your feet. Do some ankle rolls here, one way and the other, flex, point, or just bring the feet together and relax and allow everything to flow the other way in your body for a moment. And breathe. If you're watching on video, you can feel free to stay here for a couple of minutes. Otherwise, let's bend the knees. Gently bring one foot down to the floor, then the other foot down to the floor. Press through the toes, lift the hips, take your brick out. Coming into our Shavasana, our corpse pose. You can take any last minute wiggles and jiggles that you would like. Getting comfortable for our final conscious relaxation or corpse pose. Check the body, relax the feet, relax the hands, shoulders, relax the face. Come to normal breathing. And when you're ready, let's begin to wiggle your toes, your fingers, rolling the head from side to side gently. And we can bring the knees up. If you'd like, you can give yourself a final little hug here, knees to chest. And rolling over onto your side, taking just a moment here. Eyes closed. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to seated position, keeping your eyes closed for another moment, bringing your hands to your heart, coming back to the intention. If you set one at the beginning of the class, enveloping it in the energy and the love of your practice today, and sending it out to the world. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Have a lovely week. Thank you, everyone. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a note. Happy to help. I hope you have a lovely week. Take care.